Alright, hi everyone, and welcome to another video. Now, it's been a while since I've done an MMA related video. Last MMA related video I did was on CM Punk, and I was talking about the fight CM Punk was going to have, and then after the fight I had done another video. Well, I'm here today to do another video on MMA. This video is going to be on Ronda Rousey. Now, a lot has been said about Ronda Rousey in other videos, in podcasts, all over the internet. A lot has really been said about her. And I want to do a video about her because kind of a phenomenon, She really became really famous very fast and then crashed very hard very fast. So, yeah, that's why I want to do a video on her, because I can't think of any other female athlete that became as famous as Ronda Rousey. If you know of one, please, mention below who that would be, but I personally cannot think of a single person, not a tennis player, not an ice skater, not a gymnast, not a softball player. I can't think of anyone really, any female athlete as famous as Ronda Rousey. I remember when she was having her Holly Holm fight, and I was driving in downtown Chicago, and I saw the board in the expressway, Rousey versus Holm. And I remember thinking, wow, she really got big. And unfortunately that fight was where it was all going to kind of come crashing down. But, while she was famous, she was really a huge star, doing all kinds of movies and, getting movie roles and stuff, and she had more planned. The problem was when she lost to Holly Holm, all that dried up because she wasn't known for her acting ability. She was known as being this really tough fighter, and that was what was getting her the movie roles. But then when she lost, that dried up. But that's what she was planning on doing. She was planning on acting. And I don't think she really wanted to stay in fighting for that much longer. I think she said she wanted to get out before she was 30. Now, who knows what'll happen? I guess she recently turned 30. So, who knows what's going to happen if she's going to try to continue and make a comeback. I haven't really heard too much about her, what she's planning on doing next. But, yeah, she definitely did, crash pretty hard. But at the same time, you have to admit that, she became very famous very fast. First in Strike Force. She was, for those who don't know, a judo competitor in the Olympics. She had gotten a medal in the Olympics. I think it was a bronze. And, she came out of judo. Now, I did some judo in the 80s and 90s, and I never would have thought that the most famous female athlete of all time would have come out of judo. I never would have thought that, but that's what happened. I can remember when I did judo, there was this girl who would enter tournaments, and she would win, but every time she would go up against this Hillary Wolf, she would get annihilated. And Hillary Wolf later went on to compete in the Olympics, and she also did movies as well. I believe she was Macaulay Culkin's sister in Home Alone. Yeah, Hillary Wolf, I believe the name was. But, getting back to Ronda, yeah, I really, became just this household name very quickly. And she got a lot of fans that, a lot of them were not even MMA fans. They were Ronda Rousey fans. So, some of them weren't that loyal. Some of them were very, hard on her when she lost and kind of abandoned her. And it just seemed to me that Ronda wasn't really doing all that she should be doing to deal with the highest levels of competition, because it's obvious the women's division was improving and people were figuring Ronda out, and people were getting better and the game was kind of moving past Ronda. What Ronda should have done was probably, if she wanted to stay in the fight game, would be to go to one of the best training camps, like, Jackson's MMA out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, or American Top Team, one of those. She probably should have gone to one of those. But, she didn't because she was loyal to her trainer, Edmund. And I get her mom, and I've seen videos, her mom was very critical about Edmund, calling Edmund a terrible trainer and all that, and kind of blaming Ronda's losses on Edmund. And it seemed to me Ronda probably, like I said, should have gone to the best places because the game is, on the woman's side is improving. And if she wants to remain competitive, she'd have to go to the best places because her competition is training at the best places. But yeah, I just remember, and a lot was said about, Ronda's fight with Holly Holm, which ended in the second round in a devastating way, with a head kick. And I just remember in that match and also in her match after that, the still shots that were taken of Ronda, just terrible, as she's getting like head kicked, or just those still shots that they took of Ronda were just awful. Some of the worst still shots I think I've ever seen. I mean, they were bad. But yeah, so like I said, she probably should have, gone to the best places if she wanted to continue to remain competitive. Because the moment I saw her winning all these matches with armbars, I kind of felt that she's not going to be able to do that forever. She could win these matches with armbars for a while, but she's not going to be able to continue to do that for really a very long time. People will figure it out. I mean, you could basically call Ronda Rousey the Hoist Gracie of the women's division. I think that's what she was. But, Hoist Gracie ultimately ended up losing in like 2000 against Sakuraba. Well, it's same thing happened to Ronda. People kind of figured her out and were able to defeat her. And, now I don't think that strategy of her winning by armbar with every match would necessarily work. I mean, I don't think you could do that in the men's division. You don't see anyone winning match after match after match with an armbar in the men's division. You just don't see that. Another thing Ronda had that I do have to mention is she definitely, did have a mystique surrounding herself. I mean, that's for sure. She had kind of this, mystique. It was almost like marketing in a way. The media kind of put this mystique behind her. Well, that mystique affects her opponents. And opponents could literally lose to a person's mystique. That happens. That happened with George St. Pierre. A lot of his opponents would lose to his mystique. Same with Anderson Silva. A lot of his opponents would lose to the mystique of Anderson Silva. You watch some of the matches that Anderson Silva had, and it's not really... So there's some of them where he's winning. It doesn't even really look like he's doing too much to the guy. The guys are losing to Anderson Silva's mystique. And Chael Sonnen found out about this, and Chael Sonnen realized all this stuff and said that, yeah, you look at his opponent, they're losing to his mystique, not necessarily to Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's good, but he's not as good as they say he is. The media is overhyping him because the media, according to Chael Sonnen, didn't understand the fight game fully. There's a lot of people, some of them were just, journalism backgrounds, not even really too into MMA. They didn't really understand the fight game. So they were overhyping Anderson Silva, not knowing about all the mechanics and techniques and maneuvers that are in the fight game. But Chael Sonnen understood all that, and he was able to not beat Anderson Silva, but he did very well against him. Because like you said, Anderson Silva was good, but he wasn't as good, like I said, as the media said he was. So, yeah, getting back to all this, that's kind of what you have happen with, a lot of fighters. And fortunately, Ronda Rousey's loss was, you know, very crushing. It was very difficult for her to recover from her loss. And she had lost in the Olympics before, but she had really been hyped up by the press for a long time that when she actually had a loss, it really seemed to be very crushing, and she did not handle it well at all. See, a lot of other fighters, they'll handle it pretty well, but Ronda Rousey did not. Kind of went into a funk for a little bit, and then finally she began training for her next match. But her next match, which was against Amanda Nunes, she lost in 48 seconds. You know, and it didn't look like she had really recovered from her first loss. I mean, it didn't. I mean, she may have recovered physically from her first loss, but not psychologically. You know, it seemed like she somehow still needed to, you know, deal with that whole situation. But, and again, like I said, it's kind of a tragedy because, you know, she was known as being this really good fighter, but then, you know, that was getting her movie roles. But then, like I said, once, you know, she lost a couple times, all that ended. All that dried up. You know, she was supposed to do a reboot of Roadhouse. That got canceled. There's some other projects that got canceled. So, yeah, you know, just kind of, you know, like I said, like a phenomenon in a lot of ways. And I can't think of anyone else who's really been like this. And I can't think of anyone else in my lifetime that's been like this, that just became so super famous so fast and then crashed so hard so quickly. I mean, and I think, you know, she's still somewhat famous and will get an acting role. I think she just recently had one in some sitcom or something. So, yeah, still will see her and stuff. But, you know, who knows if she's going to try to make a comeback with fighting. You know, who knows? I don't think she's really very vocal about that. So I really don't know if she's going to try to make a return to that. But, yeah, it was just, you know, I guess, I don't know, something to see, all this. And like I said, a lot has also been said about, like, her conduct and the way she acted. She didn't touch gloves with Holly Holm in their match, and people thought it was bad sportsmanship. And you should touch gloves. You know, I'm not condoning what she did, but, you know, you should touch gloves. But, you know, there's been a lot of times the guys haven't touched gloves. I didn't see Chael Sonnen touch gloves with Tito Ortiz in their match, and people didn't demonize them. So, you know, it was just because Ronda Rousey had a lot of fans that were not MMA fans. She just had amassed this huge fan base of, you know, just regular people and celebrities. And she was really kind of under a microscope a lot of the time. But, yeah, so, you know, that's all I have. That's all I have to say. If you did watch this video, as always, I thank you for watching. Have a great day.